It's been a while, hasn't it? Before the two pandemics fucked up my reality, I was but a younger dumbass talking about Evangelion's Netflix dub and the end of Evangelion. And now that I'm an older dumbass, let's get some closure on my coverage of Evangelion by talking about Anno's swan song to the series, for now at least, the Rebuild of Evangelion movie series. Now, initially, this was meant to be a retelling of the anime until the final film, where we see major changes, and for the first movie, it is pretty much a summary of the first 6 episodes, just trimmed down and a couple changes, like Kaoru showing up at the end, but as the films go on, more and more changes begin to occur, like the introduction of a new character named Mari, third impact happening in the final act of the second movie, and the events of said impact leading to a 14-year time skip in the third movie, which is where the similarities to the original Eva start to fall off and we get more of an original story. So, yeah, the first movie is pretty much my least favorite of the 4, because it is just a summary of the anime released in the 2000s. And as I've said before, I hate these kinds of movies since they're a waste of time nowadays. Especially since the original series is easily available for people to watch, and there are wikis with tons more information than a summary movie can ever give out. And I would have said the same for the second movie, but the last act manages to save it with Shinji trying to save Rei at the cost of activating third impact by accident, but Kaoru is able to stop it, thankfully, as shown with the post-credit scene of the movie. Except, not really, because as we see with the third movie, the Earth is covered in red paint, the Eva pilots don't age even after 14 years because of this third impact, and Unit 1 is in a goddamn space coffin.
Whoops-a-dail, I meant to do that!
Now, because the third and fourth movies are about as dense as osmium, I'm just going to talk about what I liked and didn't like about the last 2 parts of this series. After all, these reviews aren't meant to serve as replacements for the films, they're just me talking about why I liked, or disliked, a thing to varying degrees of success. Speaking of self-deprecation, I like Shinji's character in the series. Similar to the show, he starts off as a whiny little shit who thinks with his heart rather than his brain, but as time goes on, he begins to mature into a stronger person, both emotionally and mentally. This is especially prevalent in the final battle with Gendo, where most of the battle is the battle of words, rather than, well, hitting each other really, really hard. So, much like the series itself, Shinji grew into a character I liked as the series went on, which is really good to see. Unfortunately, I cannot give the same credit to the rest of the cast, because while Shinji certainly does get his development, a lot of the other cast, including the Eva pilots, don't get this, or at least not to the extent of Shinji. Asuka starts off the same as her anime counterpart, but most of her development happens off-screen in the gap between 2.0 and 3.0. Rei develops a bit in 2.0 as well as the last movie, giving her some time to grow, but it's still not as much as her anime version, or Shinji even in this film series. Kaoru remains the same, so it's just his anime counterpart inserted into this reality, but it was nice to see him get more time with Shinji and develop that bond the show didn't do a good job with. As a result, it makes his death much more tragic, especially for Shinji, because we as the audience this time around got to see him form a much stronger bond with Shinji over a longer period of time, which was my criticism of the original series. They didn't really give it much time. And since I'm already souring grapes, the angel designs are once again not my cup of tea, and this time, they didn't even bother giving the angels names. But since I already bitched about the designs in the original series, card up top if you want to see that by the way, I'm going to trash on the new designs and then just move on. Third angel, it's a crab mixed with a worm. So creative there, guys. 7th angel, can we get Matarel? We have Matarel at home. 12th angel, oh, I was wondering where my ball of electrical tape went. And while I'm at it, congrats, you made Sahagwheel into a visual strain in my eyes this time around. Thanks! What isn't a shame, however, is the soundtrack. Shirasagisu still has their A game even after all these years, and that is especially prominent with their song in 2.0, Fate. This song is a fucking masterpiece, from composition to tempo to lyrical structure, etc. Seriously though, give the song a listen to when you can. It's fantastic. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for this soundtrack in this series. The rest of the soundtrack across all 4 films are amazing, both in the movie and listened to on its own. Seriously, really good stuff. Fantastic job, Shirosaki. Also, vocal performance is good in both English and Japanese. Not much to really say there, though. Another bonus for these movies is the fantastic action scenes. Fluidity is great, choreography is amazing, shot composition and angles are executed great. It's a visual spectacle, basically, and I know for a fact, I'm only just scratching the surface here. Anyways, enough fourth wall breaking. Let's just wrap this up so that I don't go on any more tangents.
Sorry, it's nothing personal.
Overall, the Rebuild movies have a very, very rough start. But as time goes on, it does get better when it delves into the more original stuff, and it especially gets interesting / good after the time skip. And with the ending of the 4th movie effectively wiping out the Evas, it'll be very interesting to see where this franchise goes next. Will they do a new timeline again? Will they do a new universe? Will they rebuild the Evas anyways? Who knows? Will I be around to cover those next steps? Maybe, maybe not. Until then, however, I am David Grimm, and thank you for watching.